All right, Ms. Wilson, let us start back with this. So writing back the equation that we have, we have 4x
minus 7.
4x minus 7
Shut up.
is equal to
2x plus 5.
plus 5. And then now we're going to solve this for x.
Yes, sir. First we group like terms.
All right, so we're bringing all the x's on one side.
Yes, sir.
And then we bring all the numbers on the other side.
Okay.
All right, so when we do that, what would we end up with now?
4x minus 2x equal
So
to 5 plus 7.
4x minus 2x
Equal to 5 plus 7.
is equal to
5 plus 7, sir.
plus 7.
Yes, sir.
So what can we conclude from this now?
4x minus 2x, sir, will leave us with 2x, which is equal to 5 plus 7, 12.
So that would be 12. 2x is
Yes, sir.
12.
Yes, sir. So now we want x to be the subject, so we'll divide both sides by the 2, sir. Hey.
So the 2 cancel out. So
2, yes, sir.
now
6. X is equal to 6.
all right. All right, so that's the way how we solve for x, students. Let me see the hands of those who understand what we just did with this question. Let me see the hands of those who actually understand what happened just now. All right. All right. So it means then, whenever we're given a situation like this, you are not given any values for the number of elements in A, the number of elements in B, and so on. You are not given those, but you are given the diagram. Now you read the question carefully and look out for the key information here. The key information in this question is that it tells you that the number of elements in A is equal to the number of elements in B. So that's the key information. And because of that, we can add everything in the circle of A, which is 3x plus x minus 7, give you 4x minus 7. We can add all the elements in A, and then we add all the elements in B, so that would give you 2x plus 5. Then we equate them, because that's what this says. The number of elements in A is equal to the number of elements in B. So how we would generally start off this question is we are going to say, since, based on what this is saying, you would make the statement. So you would say, since the number of elements in A is equal to the number of elements in B, therefore 4x minus 7 is equal to 2x plus 5. So that's how we would start the question. Ms. Waysom, so make a note of that. You see, part of what you get marked for is is reasoning and comprehension. Now, reasoning tells why. So when you're doing something, you need to state why you're doing it. So you're saying, based on what this question is saying, since they tell you that the number of elements in A is equal to the number of elements in B, therefore, if we add up everything in A and add up everything in B, we can equate them. And then we can solve for X. Right? So that's how you would approach this now. So now that we have a value for X, we know that X is equal to 6. How would we now find a value for the number of elements in A? What would be the number of elements in A? Anybody want to try that? Go ahead and try to solve that. We know that the number of elements in A is given by the expression 4x minus 7. All right. So this is part B now that we are trying to solve. Part B of the question. So based on what we just did, the number of elements in A will be equal to 4x minus 7, because we add up everything in A to get 4x minus 7. But we now have a value for X. We know that X is 6. So wherever X is in this, we're going to replace it with 6. So 4x would become 4 times 6. And then now we subtract 7. If we're following the rule for BEDMAS, we would do multiplication before we do subtraction. So 4 6 is what? 4 6 is? So that gives you 24 minus 7. So 7 from 24, you get what? 7 from 24, students?
14.
That would be 17, right? So that's how we calculate the number of elements in A. So what I want you to do for me now, you have to calculate the number of elements in B, and then calculate the number of elements in A union B. The number of elements in A going to be 17. What is the number of elements in B? Calculate it and tell me what to get.
B is 11.
Nobody get the value for a number of elements in B?
Our number of elements in A is 17, sir.
Yeah, I already calculated that.
So which one are you asking?
For B.
Oh, same 17, sir.
Okay, so same 17. So how much is it now for the union?
28.
To get the union, all of this here is a union. So if you add up all of this, you get the union. So to work this out, you could replace these x's with 6. So this becomes 3 times 6. This becomes 6. This becomes 6. All right, so you do the calculation. 3 6's give you what? 18 minus 7 give you what? 3 6's 18 minus 7 give you what?
11, sir.
Right. And then now 6 plus 5 over here give you what?
11.
Right, and you have 6 in the middle here. So you add 11 plus 11, give you 22 plus 6, give you what?
28.
28.
All right. Everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Any question? Miss Green, are you understanding this a little better now?
Sir, can you go over the union part?
Yes, sir. How is that the 6? Is it the same?
No, I know it's not exactly the same, but the principles are the same. Right? I will do some more for you, Miss Green. Don't worry. So for the union, was that you, Miss Trivia, who was asking me to look back at the union?
Yes, sir.
Right. So for the union, you're really adding up everything in both sets. Now you can just plug in the values for X here and work it out. Or if you want, you could go ahead and add up these in the algebraic sense. So it's a 3x plus x will give you what? 5x, right? And then you would have minus 7 plus 5. That will give you what? Minus 2. You agree with that? Now we are going to replace
Minus 7 plus 5.
Yeah, minus 7 plus 5. I'll give you a minus 2. But it's on weird.
So admit it, add minus, why?
Yeah, but if you add negative 7 plus 5 is minus 2, you're going to get. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right, so here now you would have 5x. Remember that x is 6 from our calculation of x down here. So 5x would be what? 5 times 6. So we get 5 times 6. And then we subtract 2. 6, 5 give you 30. Minus 2, you get 28. You follow, Miss Trevia?
Yes, sir.
Right. So you can do it that way, or you can just plug in the values in this and just work it out. All right. Miss Green, have I make your life work?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know that you feel that way, but I'm going to look at the next question and see whether or not I can give some clarification as to what we're doing. All right, so everybody, anybody else who is having a difficulty with this part? Let me see your hands. All right, Miss Williams, who else? Miss Watson. Anybody else? All right. Okay, so quite a few of you are still having challenges with this. All right, no problem. What we are going to do now, we're going to look at another question and see if we can give some more clarity to what we're doing. All right, so this would have been the solution based on what we have just did. All right, so we for solution A, we know that the number of elements in A, what we did was to add everything in the circle of A, 3x minus 4 plus x. Everything in the circle A were these, and we add them, so we get 4x minus 7. Likewise, for B, we add everything in the circle B. We have x plus x, 2x plus 5. And here now, given that number of elements are in A is equal to number of elements in B, therefore we can equate, because this is A and this is B. So if A is equal to B, then this is A and it's equal to B, right? So this would be the number of elements in A. This would be the number of elements in B, right? So number of elements in A is equal to number of elements in B. And when we have made that equation now, all that we need to do next is to solve for that. All right, so we do that by bringing the numbers on one side and bringing the x's on the other side. How we do that? So here, this 2x on this side, we bring it over on this side. So now we bring this 2x over here. Simultaneously, while we're bringing this over on this side, we are bringing the 7 over on this side. Now, once you bring something to the other side of the equation, you have to change your signs. So this is -7. When we bring it over here, it becomes +7. This is 2x on this side. When we bring it on the left, it becomes -2x. All right. So that's how we do when we put one thing on the other side, we change the sign of what it was. So now we have 4x and we take away 2 x's. So it's like you have 4 apples and you take away 2, so you're left with 2 apples. All right, so on the right-hand side, we have 7 plus 5, we get 12. In order to solve for x, we need to get rid of this 2. To get rid of for 2 beside the x, we just divide by the same 2. So if we divide this side by 2, we also need to divide this side by 2. And 2 into itself goes 1, 2 into 12 goes 6. And so we get x is equal to 6. That's how we get the value for x. All right. So with that, we now work out these sections. So for the number of elements in A, the number of elements in A would have been, based on the circle of A, we would get 4x minus 7. But now we know what x is. Wherever the x is beside the 4, we replace it with the value of x, which is 6. So we multiply 4 times 6, we get 24. Then we subtract 7, we get 17. If we were to do the same thing for B, then we would have 2x plus 5. We know that x is 6. So 2 times 6 give you 12. Then we plus 5, we get 17. Now, it was given, though, that the number of elements in A is equal to the number of elements in B. So if you calculate A and get 17, then clearly B going to also be 17 because you were told that they are the same. Now, to get the union, we could use a formula. And then we could plug in the 17 that we have from the number of elements in A. And then we plug in the 17 that we have from the number of elements in B. And we know the intersection, which is the x, which is 6. And so we add the 17 plus 17. Sorry, we add the 17 plus 17, give you what? 34, and you minus 6, you get 28. All right, so this is using the formula after you had calculated these values, you could use the formula. All right, now let us look at this question and see whether or not we are able now to figure out what the answer is supposed to be. All right, so I'm going to give you a little time just to try to figure out what is happening here, and then I'll walk you through the question. So take about 4 minutes and see whether or not you could find the value for A, the value for B, the value for the intersection of A and B, and the value for the union. When you're ready, raise your hand. And nobody finished this as yet? Miss Green?
Yes, sir.
Miss Green, are you there?
I'm here, sir. Still working.
All right, so you're going to help me out with this one now, Miss Green, because I want you to get it clearly in your mind what is really happening, right?
Yes, sir.
We're going to do it 2 ways, Miss Green. 2 ways we're going to do it, right?
Yes, sir.
One, we're going to use the formula. That's one way. And the other way, we're going to use the diagram. All right, Miss Green.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to use the diagram first, and then we use the formula afterwards. So let us use the diagram, Miss Green. How can we determine the number of elements in A?
Sir, yeah, add it with the intersection, sir. Or with the number of elements.
All right, so they are saying to you based on this, in the figure below shows two sets, A and B. The entries give the number of elements in each region. That means these entries, the 75 and the 12, tell you the number of elements in each region. So the region that the 7 is in, what we call this region again, Miss Green? Don't remember?
Okay.
You notice that the 7 is in that part of A, which is of B. So we call this what? A only. A only because it has nothing to do with B. It is in that part of A that has nothing to do with B. You see that, Miss Green?
Yes, sir.
How many members here?
7.
7, right. Now, how many members inside this region here?
5.
What this region called?
The intersection.
Clear, good. What about this region? What do we call this region?
B only.
Right. How many members are in that?
12.
Okay. Now, the first part of the question, I want to tell us how many members in the circle A. What are we going to do? How many members in the entire circle A? You notice that we have a circle for A?
Yes, sir. Only 7, sir.
Not only 7. This part where you have 7, that's not the entire circle of A. The entire circle of A.
You have 5 in the intersection, sir.
So all of this is the circle of A.
Yes, sir.
So how many members you have in that circle?
2 members, sir. 5 and 7.
How much and 2 members you have in there now? You have 7 members here and you have 5 members here. How many members you have in all?
12, sir.
12, right? So you have 12. So you have 12 members in A. How many members you have in B now?
$17, sir.
Correct. So this will be 17. How many members in the intersection?
5.
5. Correct. How many in the union?
It is A union B, sir. Would I add the members with A and B, sir?
Yes. How much you get?
29, sir.
Check it out. Calculate it again, miss. Add up.
Adding it.
Yes, add them, miss. What you get?
Oh, you get 34.
You sure?
24.
24, because this 7 plus is 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
And 12 plus 12 give you 24. All right, that's how we get these by looking at the diagram. You understand that now, Miss Green?
yes, sir.
All right. Now, suppose though we did not do the union. We didn't do the union. How could you use a formula now to work out the union?
Formula, sir.
What is the formula saying again?
Would have number of elements in
A union B equal to the number of elements in
A
A plus the number of elements in
B.
B. The last part says what? What are we going to do over here?
Is it
Your mind,
minus number of elements
number of elements in where? What are
A intersection B?
A intersect B? Correct.
Intersect B.
All right, now, what are the values that we can put in the formula now? What do we know based on our calculation before? What is the number of elements in A?
Say they have 7.
In A, look, A,
12.
12. What would be in B?
17.
17. What,
minus
what is in the intersection?
5, sir.
All right, what we're going to do next?
So you have 12
Right.
plus 17.
So we have 12 plus 17. Positive
Yes, sir.
you have. So 12 plus 17 give you how much?
24, sir.
Check it again, miss.
29.
All right.
That means
So all right. So you're looking at the overall calculation, Miss Green. So you calculate 29 minus 5. That's
sir.
the 24. Right. So 29
Oh,
minus 5 would give you 24.
okay.
So it means that the union would work out to be 24. If we use the formula, that's how you'd work it. But just looking at the diagram here, you could just add them. 7 plus 5, 12, 12 plus 12, you get 24. Any question about that, Ms. Green? Are you clear on that?
Yes, sir, with the.
All right. So I know we don't look at any with the x's here yet, right? And
So,
I don't think we're going to be able to touch it this evening, but for next class, you're surely going to look at it for your sake. All right. So so this would be this first question. This would be the second question now. Now, you have about 5 minutes remaining. See if you can work this one out before the class ends and give me the answer to the question. So you have 5 minutes to do this. Go ahead now, guys. Anybody gets the value for x as yet? Anybody get the value for x? Don't have the whole night, students. Only have 2 minutes remaining. So tell you that the number, here we have the number of elements in A equal to the number of elements in B. So you can use that to calculate x. You add up everything in A, you would get what? You will get 2x plus x give you 3x. So you add these x's. So you get 3x, then you subtract 4. So that would give you the numbers of elements in A. The number of elements in B, you add this x plus this x, you get 2x plus 5. Now you use this to solve for x. Bring all the x's on one side. So over here you get 3x minus 2x. Now this 4, you bring it on the other side, it becomes positive 4 plus 5. And now what we want to do is to subtract 2x from 3x, you get x. Now over here we add 4 plus 5, we get 9. So x is equal to 9. All right, so knowing what x is, we could find A. How we find A? A is 3x minus 4. So A is equal to 3x minus 4. But we know what x is. So we just plug in the value for x. So this becomes 3 times what? 3 times 6, not 6 rather, 9. 3 times 9 minus 4. 3 nines give you what?
27.
So 27 minus 4 give you
23, sir.
23. So the number of elements in A is 23.